Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It is starting 11 prediction time once again. This time for tomorrow's game against Hearts at Celtic Park. We come into it off the back of that 5-1 victory over St Mirren on Sunday. Just buzzing to get that game out the road. I don't know about you, it's just one of the fixtures that I don't really enjoy. Certainly didn't enjoy the first half. And obviously St Mirren get the red card. And then once we get the equaliser in the second half, the floodgates opened and we were much, much better and we blew them away in that 15-20 minute spell. Great impact for players off the bench. I think that's one of the few times recently we've had to call on the guys on the bench to sort of dig us out. We needed that freshness in the second half with the likes of Abada, Matt O'Reilly as well making an impact in the game. It was nice to see that because obviously these guys have had very little or relatively little minutes. The team has been quite consistent in the last 4 or 5 weeks. The starting 11 have performed so well that whenever the subs have been getting minutes, it's been towards the end of games when the game's already won, but it was good to see them come on, make an impact, make a game-changing impact to win us the game when we were 1-0 down at half-time. Hearts come into this game sitting third. They're on 45 points. This is obviously the start of that double header because we play them at Tynecastle on Saturday in the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup. It's going to be interesting to see how they approach this game. I think the Scottish Cup's probably a big deal for them. It's their last chance to win something this season. Having said that, they don't exactly have third place sewn up though because Hibs are only 5 points behind them. Hibs have picked up a wee bit of form. Still 11 games to play in the league, so it's not like that's signed and sealed for them. So I don't expect them to make too many changes. And as we've seen before, and we know with Hearts, more often than not, they make it a difficult game for us. A few narrow victories, even in the games at Celtic Park last season. And the last time we faced them, it was that 4-3 victory at Tynecastle. So I expect it to be a difficult game. I expect Bobby Nielsen to whinge about the ref after the game as well. He likes to do that anytime he brings his team to Celtic Park. But joking aside, I think it will be a tough game. But I do expect to see a few changes to the team from Sunday. I think we need that freshness. And I think for us, Saturday is a really big game as well. We obviously want to keep winning. Tomorrow's big for us. We want to get as many wins as possible to take us closer to the title. But the quarter-final on Saturday is also huge for us. It's the toughest job we could have got. And if we can get past it, we inch ever closer to a possible domestic treble. So let's get to the starting 11 then. We'll start in goals, as we always do with Joe Hart. I don't think there'll be any changes to the back four. That'll be Johnston, Carter Vickers, Starfelt and Taylor. Taylor obviously gives away the penalty and we go behind on Sunday. Talked about it in the full-time reaction. Harsh, I think his hand is less than half a yard away from the ball, but we go behind and 1-0 down at half-time, or maybe just before half-time, before St Mirren get the man sent off. You're thinking, could this be the day where Carter Vickers and Starfelt's unbeaten record starting together in the league is called into question? But it wasn't to be because we absolutely blew St Mirren away in the second half. The only thing I would say for Carter Vickers is he should maybe lay off the long free kicks, the long passes up the pitch, because Ange looked a wee bit confused. I was absolutely buckled at that. Ange's reaction to that for Carter Vickers. So less of them the better, but that partnership's been brilliant. I don't expect any changes to the back four. In midfield, Callum McGregor will obviously captain the team. Hatate will play in front of him, and I think Matt O'Reilly will start this game. He came off the bench and got a goal against St Mirren. That will do his confidence a world of good. His first league goal, he got his first goal of the season in the Scottish Cup against St Mirren a few weeks back. Aaron Moy played really, really well in the game, grew into it, ended up getting 3 assists in the second half, I think. So he's been in brilliant form and that continued on Sunday, but I just think that O'Reilly will come back in and start this game and Moy will return for the Scottish Cup game on Saturday. I think this is a good opportunity for Ange to change it up, give the guys who have not had many starts recently the chance to impress, the chance to maybe stake their claim to get in the team on Saturday. But I think it's a good position for him to be in, where he's got Moy, O'Reilly, and the forward areas. He's got so many options as well. And I don't think you necessarily, when you play a team so close together, like twice in the space of 3 or 4 days, you don't necessarily want to start the same team both times. You want to change it up a bit. You want to keep them guessing different movements, that different players play differently in the same positions because they bring different attributes to the role. So I think we will see some changes. I think O'Reilly will be one of them. I think on the right hand side, Liel Abada will start. Great impact off the bench, so direct, changed the game for us, got a goal, got an assist, was integral in the build up to the first goal as well. And again, I think the numbers for him now are a goal or assist every 91 minutes played in the league this season. That's good numbers considering he's had relatively few starts in recent months. I think he's done more than enough to justify getting a start. The only thing I will say about Bad is sometimes he goes through these spells where he looks really good and he makes these impacts off the bench. If you get back a couple of weeks ago, he scored that goal against Aberdeen coming off the bench as well. So he has been in good form. He's been making an impact off the bench, but sometimes it doesn't always translate when he gets starts. We know that wingers can be inconsistent. That's just the nature of the position. But he's got so much potential, Liel Abada, and he's adding assists now as well as goals. I think that's the one thing since he arrived at the club. We know he's got that knack for scoring goals, timing his runs at the back post, getting in the score sheet. But I've always wanted to see him maybe stay calm and pick out a cross or a pass for a teammate. I think that's an area of his game that he can still improve, but he has made big strides in that area, and you've seen that at the weekend. That's a prime example of that. I think he deserves a start tomorrow, and I think he might get one. On the left-hand side, Dyson Maeda came off at half-time at the weekend. I think it was toss a coin between him and Jota. The only thing I will say is that when Jota moved to the left-hand side, his performance did improve. And I mentioned it last week that a couple of people said to me in the pub, and again, comments at the weekend, that Jota shouldn't be moved out of position to accommodate for Maeda, particularly in games against the rest of the league, if you like. As I say, I think Jota could have come off at half-time as well. I think his use of the ball in the first half was really poor, but you have to caveat that by saying he was out of position, and his performance did improve when he went to the left-hand side. I think Haksabanovic will get the start on the left-hand side tomorrow. I think he's another one that's impressed off the bench. I don't think the drop-off by starting the likes of O'Reilly, Abada, Haksabanovic, I don't think there's a huge drop-off in quality. I think they bring different qualities to the team, but I think they're more than capable of starting in this game. And as I say, I think the manager might want to keep it fresh because we need to play Hearts twice so close together. Through the middle, I do think Kyogo will keep his place. He wasn't involved very much at the weekend. He obviously forced the red card for Charles Dunn because he was chasing him down, chasing a lost cause. If he doesn't make that run, if he doesn't chase that down, he doesn't put Dunn in trouble with a short pass back, and then he ends up getting himself sent off. That's what you get from that work rate. And other than that, he didn't really have too many chances in the game. But there's no doubt he's in brilliant form. He's a top goal scorer. He's scored the opening goal in his last 3 appearances against Hearts. He seems to like this fixture, particularly at Celtic Park. And I think with the quality in the wide areas, the directness of Abada, Haksabanovic on the other side, if we can get the ball out wide and get some of those low early crosses in, I expect him to add to his goal tally tomorrow. So there you go. That's the lineup I think Ange will pick for tomorrow. If you disagree, let me know in the comments below. How many changes do you think there should be, if any? Or do you think this is too big a game to risk making any changes? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you tomorrow outside Celtic Park with all of the full-time reaction as normal. Cheers.